you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here and I'm back with a new video. And y'all, have y'all missed me? Like, I had to take a couple of days off because life be life and I just needed to have a bit of a break. But your girl is back and I'm here with a new video. And as you already know by the title, your favorite president is at it once again. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the LA riots. Now, when they say history repeats itself, like they're not joking, because when you think of the LA riots, you think of the riots that happened in 1992. But no, there's riots currently and protesting that's currently happening there in big 2025. So on the 6th of June, ISIS has been snatching up people. To be Pacific, a lot of Mexican immigrants have been snatching them up at their jobs, homes, schools, colleges, etc. And, taking them to the camp and then deporting them. So obviously a lot of, Mexicans, Latinos, even blacks, whites, like a lot of races are protesting peacefully, may I add. But obviously Trump doesn't like what's going on. The people are standing up for themselves. So he has sent in troops. And as usual, we already know as black people, the way they treat people when they're just peacefully protesting, it's getting out of hand. So a lot of police cars have been getting damaged, burnt, etc. But yeah, and it's weird that I'm doing this video today because the last video I did before I took a break was on Trump, the whole back and forth that he did with Elon Musk. If you've not seen it, do check it out. I'll link it at the end of this video. And again, one of my most like highest views on this channel is a video that I did on Trump. So do check that out also if you're new here, and obviously subscribe. And for my remaining subscribers, make sure your notification bell is on and you're liking and sharing the videos. But yeah, I'm gonna roll the clip and I will be back with my comment.
I think a lot of people are going to love what I have to say, but please hear me out. They want this. The systems that be, the power that be, it wants this. There's a lot of outrage on social media over the ICE raids that are happening. Justifiable, righteous anger and rage. But here's the thing, they are counting on your anger. They are counting on your rage. They want these acts so that they can use them to control the narrative. I mean, just listen to this.
I know myself, I had over 1,000 protesters at my house. I expect that as the borders are, but these men and women are putting their lives online every day. They arrested a lot of bad people yesterday and today. They arrested child sex offenders. They arrested people convicted of robbery. They arrested public safety, not only significant public safety threats, but national security threats. They arrested gang members. We're making Los Angeles safer.
See the narrative that they're pushing. We are taking the dangerous people off the street. Now, people are all over social media talking about how people are being grabbed from kindergarten graduations, families are being separated. ICE is arresting American citizens just because they profile them as legal. They are not just targeting criminals, but they say they are. Why? So that they can manufacture outrage. So people will stand up and get pissed, and it's by design. You need to understand the illusory truth effect. It doesn't matter if something is a lie, if it's repeated over and over and people have repeated exposure to it, they tend to believe it more the more they hear it. Psychological manipulation has been used by the news media forever. It's used by politicians all the time. You do not tell the truth. You repeat a lie over and over until people start to believe it. This is not about political sides. You need to understand controlled opposition. Two opposing sides are controlled by the same unifying group. This way they can control the desired outcome, Republican, Democrat. News media, fake news, don't trust the news. You control the entire market because you get the people who trust the news, and then you get all the people who don't trust the news. They all funnel to the same controlling group. That controlling group controls narratives. It creates a divisiveness, black versus white, middle class versus poor. It creates division, right? Because it creates distraction. Why do they want violent outcomes from these protests? Well, have you heard of Palantir's Gotham technology? Time to deploy Palantir tech in Los Angeles to deal with the illegals. You know you'd love to see it. You're lying if you would say you wouldn't. James Lee has an amazing video on this. If you don't follow him, you need to. He is awesome. Do you remember the Patriot Act? When the government, we had this big terrorist problem, so it's like, we need these rights to spy on terrorists. You get whistleblowers like Snowden who come out and say they're using this tech to spy on the public. Palantir's Gotham AI is one of the most expansive civilian surveillance infrastructures in US history, controlling all of our private records under a powerful AI system. The narrative they're going to push is how dangerous all these protests are and why they need to push out this technology. It's just going to be in these areas. History has shown us they will use it to the fullest extent. They want more control. They want more oppression. That's why they're creating a narrative that it's all these dangerous illegal. It's not. Wake the fuck up.
What he had to say. I know that was a bit lengthy, but listen, he spoke so much facts. So first of all, shout out to the LA, citizens, the people, because this has been a tough year for you guys. At the beginning of the year, obviously you had the LA fires, the wildfires. I just feel like with that part or that state, they're always going through it, and even what they're currently going through, even the government or the governor of that state doesn't agree with what Trump's putting in place. You know what I mean? But I definitely agree what he said. Like, I, I didn't even know, like, obviously, it's graduation in America. Like you said, from nurse or kindergartens, they're snatching up people, even people that are American citizens, but they might look Mexican or they might look, like a foreigner, and they're snatching it up. And it's just like, so you've got no hardcore evidence, but yet you're snatching up people. And like you said, when that, like, citizen guy said, that, they're snatching up, I can't even say the word on here, but, like predators, you know what I mean, child, da, 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 you know what I mean? And it's just like, that's not 100% true. So, like you said, they're putting out a narrative. And like you said, if you keep saying it, you know what I mean? If you keep pushing the lie, eventually people start believing it. And it's like spell casting. Like, if you keep repeating those same words, eventually, you know what I mean? It's going to get into your subconscious, your psyche. And then basically, you know what I mean? It's like being hypnotized. People be like, who don't believe in it, like, you can't hypnotize me. Trust me, after a while, you're sat there and they're constantly getting into your psyche. They've got you. So I definitely agree with what he's saying. It's just sad. It's just like there's just always something. Like, literally, you guys need a break, especially in LA. I know when Trump first came into power, ISIS was doing their thing, and then it kind of like died down a bit. I know there's a whole uproar. Now I'm gonna show you this picture. I know it's on the thumbnail, but this picture gives me goosebumps. Like, it gives so much emotion. If you've not seen the film The Purge, the last one they did, it was based around currently what's happening. So it's based around like Mexicans in America, and that like white Americans want to get rid of like the Mexicans. So that picture gives me chills. It literally just looks like something out of The Purge. And I always did say, because I'm a big fan of The Purge, like, I like that franchise. And I always did say to like my friends and family, like, this is gonna happen one day. Like, it's what do they call it? Predictive programming. Like, so seeing that image and seeing, cars on fire, etc., etc. I know it's not exactly as bad as The Purge, but if things get worse, I can actually see that brewing, because like you have white Americans or white racist Americans who are taking the law into their own hands and trying to beat up or trying to kidnap and put away, you know what I mean, illegal immigrants, or calling the cops on them saying, yeah, this person, my neighbor's an illegal immigrant, you know what I mean, just little things like that. So the racial tension is very high as usual. Like, it, for me in America, it always is. And I feel like that's why I've never gone over there, because just the race, there's just too much race tension, and that whole country's built up on race, you know what I mean? And a lot of people have brought up that with LA, a lot of people of color, especially the Mexicans, have brought, you know what I mean, have built that city. Just like, the black slaves built, the White House, all the great things in America was built on slavery. So now that they've built up LA, LA is one of the most expensive states to live in. Now you're trying to get rid of all, you know what I mean? All the people, all the hard work they've put in, and now you're trying to send them back to Mexico, or, you know what I mean, back to South America. Like, but yeah, let's get into some people's reactions, and
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, and you can tell me I'm wrong if you want. Matter of fact, I want you to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But this shit that's going on in LA, this shit is about to be happening all over. It's either that or people are gonna be afraid to come out of their house. Look at all the shit that's going on over there. Trump deployed soldiers over there, 2,000 soldiers over there. They dropped a Black Hawk in the middle of, come on, man, in the middle of Compton. In the middle of Compton. Shit is about to get crazy. A lot of people are fed up, man, and the people are not having it. I even heard they locked some ICE agents in a business, and they got the business surrounded, and they won't let these motherfuckers out. I seen videos where people said they were peacefully protesting, and they let off smoke bombs and things of that nature. Reality is, y'all better pay attention, because these people are not playing. And just like a lot of people are saying, They want to invoke that martial law. They're looking for every reason to invoke that martial law. And then we're going to have a problem. And of course, you got people that agree with this shit, and you got people that will not agree with this shit. We are walking into some dangerous times. We really are, man. I even seen videos where people said that there was bricks delivered strategically in areas where people were protesting. That don't sound similar to y'all? Y'all don't remember when that happened? Listen, all I can say is y'all better pay attention out here, man. Shit is really about to get real. For real.
Yeah, man. Shout out to that. That's my guy. I use a lot of his clips in my videos. So he's from Brooklyn, New York, and even on the East Coast, they are protesting peacefully, may I add. But again, like he said, they're peacefully protesting also in LA and other states. But again, like he said, watch out because it's brewing and it's given 2020, with the whole George Floyd. Like George Floyd was worldwide, those protests in my city, in London, you know what I mean? That was worldwide. And like you said, it's like they just want to bring in martial law because that's what they had to do with because George Floyd one was crazy. So they had to bring that in place, and that's what he wants. And obviously, we're just peacefully protesting. But like he said, the planting stuff. So, like he said, at one peaceful protest, there was bricks dropped off. And it just takes, when it just takes, like they're saying, it takes that one rotten fruit to spoil the bunch. It just takes that one peaceful protester to think, you know what? Let me pick up a brick, start throwing, and then in comes mashallah or here comes the troop. You know what I mean? So, big trigger warning. I'm going to play a clip of, I guess, an ISIS. We don't even know because he took off his name, his badge number. I don't know if he was a Fed or ISIS worker, but basically, he attacked a peaceful protester and it's all on camera, like it's live in 4K. We know they're doing this, but the fact that he just wasn't asked and he did it on camera. And that's what I love. One thing I love, I don't love a lot of stuff about social media, but one thing I do love, like his face card, it's on. So fingers crossed. Hopefully he'll lose his job. But you know what I mean? Like everyone knows him and knows what to look out for now. We might not know his name, but listen, I swear the people on the internet, they are the best detectives. They will find him real quick. We might find a family picture of him or when he went out with friends, so we can gather him up. You know what I mean? But yeah, just big trigger warning because when I seen this, I just got shivers, man. It's
Tell me this clip isn't dystopian as fuck.
I'm giving you warning. No, warning about what? I'm asking you a question. What's gonna hurt? What's gonna hurt? There's 40 millimeters. Why are you gonna shoot a fucking 40 millimeter to someone 3 feet away who's asking your badge number? What am I doing? Huh? Huh? Huh?
Watch.
Go ahead. What is it? I'm behind glass. I can see it. What is your name and badge number?
Watch what he does at the
You
end.
work for us, bitch. What is your badge number? What is your name and serial number? I'm behind glass. What is your badge number? Why'd you rip the name off your helmet?
He took the name off his helmet.
What's your badge number?
Just watch.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. What's your badge number? That's okay. I'm gonna pop you right now because you're taking up my focus.
Tell me it's not a little bit crazy to have a completely unmarked man shoot at you. It's a little crazy to have a pale white, completely unmarked man shoot at you.
yeah, you're just seeing that. Please, just if you zoom in and look at my man's face, yeah, not him describing like this pale figure. You can't tell me he don't look demonic. Like it looks like something's behind him. You know, in the horror films where a person will look normal and then their eyes just turn all black. Like he was looking very demonic. And again, the person's on the floor, politely asking, "What's your name? What's your badge number?" They're not cussing. They're not swearing. They're not all up in his face. He's literally saying, "I'm sat here behind glass, like I'm not even doing anything, but you're threatening to pop me." And then, he's pouncing up and down. So again, there's that demon in him just ready to come out. And then in the end, he's like, "Yeah, I'm a puppy because you're pissing me off." And it's just like, I just asked you a question. You know what I mean? He literally genuinely asked him a question. And as an American, I know that's your right. Even if, like me as a British person, it's my right if I want to have your name and badge number. You know what I mean? This is crazy. And just the fact that his colleagues are in the background and they're not doing nothing, you know what I mean? It's just like, y'all be safe out there, cause yo, I know they're pushing an agenda on like the news and things like that, but there are people who are filming themselves going to these protests and they are really peaceful. But at the same time, there are Fed cars that have been set on fire, and you know what I mean. Thank God no one's looting. You know what I mean. I'm glad that none of that stuff's going on. But yeah, just the way these people are getting treated is crazy when they're literally just trying to have a peaceful protest. And with all this mess, Trump's birthday is coming up. I think it's like his birthday. Think it's like the 15th or over this weekend, like coming up. So with all this happening, and again, this started on the 6th, and can you imagine it's still going on? I didn't want to do a video on it straight away. I just wanted to see how it would plan out, and the fact that it's still going on, and you know what I mean, it's getting worse. But shout out to the governor of LA, the fact that he doesn't agree with this. But that's the problem with these states and have different rules. It doesn't matter how you feel, it's whatever the president said. You know what I mean? It all goes back to the president, which is really sad.
Why is it as I'm scrolling down my For You page now, I'm seeing a whole bunch of divisiveness? People holding lives talking about some why should black people help Latinos? Talking about these protests. I've seen people talking about some Latinos protested during the BLM protests, so why aren't black people protesting now? Now's not the time for this. Minorities in this country are under attack, especially brown and black people, and this is what y'all want to do? Y'all want to bring up racial biases right now? Because first of all, why are we acting like black Latino people don't exist? Like, hi, speaking from experience, so hondureña 100%, why are we acting like there's a singular way to look Latino? Latino people are not a monolith. Then in the same token, why are we acting like black people aren't being deported as well? Haitian immigrants are one of the most affected people of these deportations. Ultimately, we all have free will, allegedly under this administration. So if someone does or does not speak out about what's happening or protest, that's their so doing. That's their business. However, it's counterproductive to do this black versus brown because the administration doesn't like any of us. To be frank, you're a person of color in this country, regardless if you're black, regardless if you're a non-black Latino, you're a target. They do not care. They do not want us here. They deported a 2-year-old American citizen that had cancer to Honduras. And you think they care about you? But the people saying, oh, black people shouldn't participate in the protest, that don't got nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with us, because just because it's not your reality yet doesn't mean it can't be. And racial biases aside, it's just honestly disgusting what's happening. They just rated an elementary school graduation. Now, regardless of how you feel about Latino people, black people, whatever, how are you okay with that? Like, how can you be silent about what's happening in this country? Like, how? So all this divisiveness needs to stop, because while y'all arguing about this on this app, the government is currently deporting people to South Sudan that aren't even Sudanese.
Big ups to her. Shout out. She made so many facts. First of all, she was so on point. Like, listen, Latinos come in different shades, even Mexicans. Like, hello, we've got the R&B singer Miguel. He's, you know what I mean? He's of Mexican descent, and looking at him, he looks like a black man, you know what I mean? But yeah, I just love how she jumped into a El Español and she started speaking Spanish, like, hello. But yeah, this is not the time. There's a time and a place. I get it. There's been really like racial tension between Latinos or black and brown people, especially in LA. But you know what I mean? Like, hello, like this is not the time. This is not like, the hands off protest, because I know a lot of black people was like, sit your black ass down and stay home. I did do a video on it, so if you've not seen it, do check it out. But yeah, like she said, they want us all gone. Like she said, there's been a lot of Haitians that have been deported or been refused to be allowed in America. They're black, you know what I mean? They speak Creole, but you know what I mean? That's just like saying, oh, black Americans are not going to protest because we're not Haitian. And it's just like, you're missing the point. And like she said, if you're okay with a 5-year-old kindergarten getting, you know what I mean, snatched up and then being deported, is crazy. And that's just because maybe they might have like an Hispanic surname, like Hernandez or, you know what I mean, Lopez. Just little things like that. And this is what I mean. They're snatching up people, but there's no hardcore evidence that they're an illegal immigrant. You know what I mean? Which is mad. This is crazy. But yeah, she made some really good points, and everything she said was fact. Like, this is not the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to look at situations like right is right and wrong is wrong. Doesn't matter who the race is, you know what I mean, who the person is, male or female, like, you know what I mean? And again, like she said, the most important thing I got from that message, they want them all gone. As long as you're not 100% white, they want you out. Once they get rid of the blacks, then it'll be the Latinos. Once they get rid of the Latinos, then it'll be the Asians. Like, so us as minorities, if we don't come together, because there's more of us, realistically, there's more of us than them, but we just don't stand together, and they know that. So if we don't come together, you know what I mean? They literally want America just 100% white or gone, even though it's been built of people of color. You know what I mean? From the Native Americans to the Asians to the blacks to the Latinos, like everyone's played their part. You get, but yeah, man, don't fall for the.
I feel like everything that's going on in LA right now was a trap. Something about these LA riots do not sit right with me. I'm talking about the timing, the energy, the way everything is being covered. It's like they knew this was coming, y'all. I know y'all seen the videos of like piles of bricks being staged at certain locations before chaos happened. Then when the chaos started, those same bricks that was placed everywhere, people started using them. So it started out peaceful, and then all of a sudden, boom, it escalated to this. You had people throwing rocks, bricks, waving flags. You had some people in ski masks. You don't even know if they were really there for the protest or was they just trying to entice some shit. Whatever the case may be, it caused Donald Trump to bring in 2,000 troops. But some people say this was too early for them to do that. Look, I'm not trying to say it's staged. I'm just saying, what are they benefiting from this? Why now? And why did it start in LA? Why are certain groups that's involved in organizing are some of the same groups that's involved in political funding? People got to start understanding. We all seen this playbook before. We got to stop acting like history haven't shown us. Escalate tension, then show the chaos, and then push for a solution that nobody asked for. I'm keeping a close eye on this because, like I said, I just got a funny feeling that this is going to start some new surveillance or some new policies, y'all. That's probably been in the making. Y'all, stay tuned. It's kicking off in LA, but I'm hearing it might go as far as the DMV, Texas, New York. I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to him. He made some really good points. Like, it's giving stage, it's giving setup. Like he said, why did it have to start in LA? And this is what I mean. Like, LA for this year, they've been going through it. Like, can they have a break, please? And again, history repeats itself. You know, we had the 92 LA riots, and then just in recent times, we had the 2020 riots with the whole George Floyd. And you know what I mean? With all these riots and the reasons why it started, you've got to learn from it. And even with George Floyd, that was peaceful. And then we all know how that ended up. And it's just like you said, with the black ski mask, the bricks, sometimes it's just like, who are you? You know what I mean? You know, an agent of chaos. Or, you know what I mean? Someone that's just, they just like to F shit up, basically, even though they might not live in that state. So obviously with George Floyd, that was Minnesota. I know a lot of people came in. Again, there were some people that came in to peacefully protest, and then there was some who just came to mess up, you know what I mean? But it's okay for them because they can go back to their state where they live, but they've, you know what I mean? They've caused mayhem in their state, and then they've brought in martial law, you know what I mean? A curfew time. Like, yo, 2020 was crazy. Just looking back, you had to be there, you know, for the people that are born afterwards, like, it's a part of history now. But yo, that was a crazy time. And the fact with George Floyd, the fact that it was worldwide, like, that was insane. But yeah, I agree with what he said. He made some really good points. It's giving setup, and just please don't fall for the bait, because them putting bricks there, 1 minute the bricks, no one's touching them, and the next thing you know, people are smashing, like you seen. And then the flag, please respect each other, because I know people are like burning up the American flag, and you don't want to piss off people that are down with you. I know Americans, you love your flag. But even with me coming off Jamaican descent, my parents, like my family, we represent Jamaica. Even though we're in the UK or whatever, we represent hard. So yeah, you know, Puerto Ricans, I always see them, they're always representing their flag. So please, you know, there's a lot of like, yeah, wave your flag. You know, even like Palestine, they've been told don't be waving their flag. Like, listen, just don't disrespect anyone else's country in it, like, because that's when it can get very tacky. But yeah, I agree with what you said.
So y'all want black folks to come and fight with y'all, come stand on the front line like we always have. But ain't this the same group that refuses to stop saying the N-word? This ain't the same group that was being racist in Zoe Spencer comments when she was going back and forth with that Hispanic creator. But now y'all want our help. Okay, interesting. Those were my initial thoughts, right? It's their war, let them deal with it. But that's an emotional response. Okay, that's pure bitterness. That's wrong. There's no sense of righteousness in that mindset. And even though it's not our fight, it is our fight. Okay, because today it's Hispanics and Latinos. But the only reason why we not grouped up with them is because technically, legally, we were born here. Okay, he arresting them. That nigga trying to annihilate our whole community. And to those of y'all that's making an argument of, well, undocumented immigration is illegal. This what happen when you break the law anywhere. Bro, this nigga put out a quota. This nigga Trump put out a quota, meaning these officers are required to meet a certain number of arrests. Anytime you put a quota on something, bruh, it's bound to for you to run into some outlawed, unlawful shit. You forcing the issue. This nigga dropping 2,000 National Guardsmen to arrest these folks, tear these people away from their families. Nigga, Flint, Michigan still ain't even got clean water. Motherfucking elementary schools, middle schools, high schools getting shot up. And this is what we prioritizing. If you don't see nothing wrong with that, bro, you just as fucked up. So to my black folks, it is our fight. Okay, we can't adopt the same mindset as our oppressors. All right, they want us to divide. That way it's easier to take us out. Cause today, it's Hispanic and Latinos. But that motherfucker in the White House, he don't look at us no differently. He itching to get us up out of here. It's only a matter of time. All right, we gotta be a part of the change that we want to see.
Ooh, shout out to him. Jeez. Now it started off a bit funny, but he had to speak facts because what he did say was factual. Like they do love saying the N word, etc. But again, there's been tension between black and brown for like years, but we come together, then we break up. You know what I mean? It's one of them. But again, like he said, righteousness, like wrong is wrong, and what's happening is wrong. Just snatching up, and he mentioned elementary. You know what I mean? Like if you can sit down and not do nothing, that can easily happen to you next because you're a minority. You know what I mean? Black people, we're the lowest of the low, and then above us is Hispanics. And again, like that woman said before, there's Afro Latinos, there's people who are just as dark as me or even darker than me who are Hispanic or who are Mexican or, you know what I mean, from South America. So yeah, I agree with what he said. And I love how he spoke on, how Michigan has still not got clean water. I know a lot of Americans talk about the price of eggs, you know what I mean? Like there's so much more going on, and like you mentioned, schools getting shut up. There's so much stuff going on in the world or just in America, and this is what you want to focus on: legal immigrants. Now, if the illegal immigrant is very violent and a menace to society, we get that. We're not snatching up little kids where they're trying to graduate from, you know what I mean? Like, but shout out to him, he made some really good points. And again, it's given set up, and you just need to see the games that they're playing here. Black people like, oh, this ain't our fight. Just like he said, that man in the White House, he hates both blacks and Mexicans. I don't know who he hates more, but he wants us all out of there. You know what I mean? So yeah, you've got to wake up and you've got to come together. But yeah, shout out to him. He made some really good points.
I don't know what this means for me, but ICE came and picked up my landlord. So my landlord been over here in the United States, been working for the past 30 years, owned a couple of properties, and he cool. I fuck with him. He's chill, very reasonable. So when Trump was saying what he was saying, he I asked, I'm like, how do you feel about what's going on with the deportation situation or whatever? And he I got a worker's permit, been having a worker's permit. I check in with immigration every Sunday. Boom. So his daughter sent me a text message like, hey, hon, I'm calling you to let you know that ICE came to pick my dad up. No warrant, no nothing, even though he have a worker's permit. And the reason she texted me is because me and the landlord have a bond. Like, we cool. I chill. Like I said, that's my dog. So, and his daughter and my dog, they made me a part of the family. So, free rent for me.
Not the free rent for me, but yeah, things like that. For me, that's very confusing because fair enough, he's got a work permit every Sunday. That's crazy. Like maybe every other Sunday or once every Sunday, like once per month, but he's got to clock in or check in every Sunday. That's mad. But the fact that he's had the right to own property on American soil, but now he's been deport. You know what I mean? Because he owns properties, he can make money, like really big money, and now he's just been snatched up. Like his daughter said, no warrant, and looks like he's gonna get deported. Like, you know what I mean? Something ain't right there because he's got a work permit first of all, and if he was such a what's the word? Not a risk, but if he was such a legal immigrant, why can he have ownership? Because even in the UK, if you're not a fully like a British citizen, you can't buy property because you know what I mean. You can't work, you can't get benefits. There's loads of stuff you're not entitled to. So how can he be entitled to own property on American soil, but yet he can't stay there? And he was on a work permit, and he was, you know what I mean. He was doing everything he was supposed to do. He was checking in, da 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 da. So yeah, something ain't right with that story, but yeah, so now with the property, like who does that property go to? Does it go to his daughters? Like I'm sure he's got all that like in his files, but yeah, that's mad. And like if he's been deported, let's say back to Mexico, is he gonna be like how's that gonna work? Is he still gonna be renting out but just from over there? Like it's crazy.
Now I never been on my kid or no bus, and y'all know that. I'm from LA through and motherfucking Cali until I motherfucking die. Period. Some of y'all black bitches is irking the fuck out of me, itching the top of my fucking ass. Listen, a lot of black people talk about how this is not our fight. We're not supposed to be out there. They didn't support us when we needed them, so why the fuck should we? Bitch, are you cool? Y'all are very fucking ignorant in the show. Especially the blacks for Trumps and the Hispanics for Trumps too. Both them bitches are ignorant as fuck. Anyway, that's not the point of the motherfucking video. I keep saying that this is not your fight, but it really is. At the end of the day, it is. And I'm gonna say the black people from California, majority of them right now, it's for everybody. Majority of the time, when we had all the motherfucking riots in LA, like I think it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, my bad. When we had all the motherfucking riots in LA, majority of the people that was out there was motherfucking Hispanics. Are y'all fucking serious? Even if they didn't or not, if they did support us or not, the whole thing about it is, we all have a fucking similar issue. It's the fucking government. It's the government. Regardless of who's fighting for who, we have to unite. Because the thing about it is, once they break up these motherfucking numbers and they send most of the migrants, not even only Hispanic people that's being fucking sent. First of all, let's get into that. It's not even a whole bunch of motherfucking. It's not even only Hispanics. It's a lot of other races that's being fucking ripped apart from the fucking homes. So it's a bigger issue than it just being, oh, it's Hispanic community and da 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 da. You bitches are stupid. The thing about it is, I support the whole motherfucking thing. I support the whole motherfucking movement, regardless if it's black people supporting them or not, or whatever the fuck it is. I'm gonna use my account to speak about it because at the end of the day, I grew up around the Mexican community. At the end of the day, like they're a part of me. At the end of the day, I'm from fucking California. The black and Hispanic community, we do have a love-hate relationship, but at the end of the day, it's always gonna be like this in my motherfucking book. There's power in motherfucking numbers, and us being divided in a moment that a community needs us that's the part that I'm really not fucking with. I'm not fucking with that at all. Y'all been doing this stupid ass tit for tat shit for too motherfucking long. It's trying to cut that shit out and help your motherfucking neighbor, like Jesus said. Because once they get rid of a problem for them, we're gonna be the next motherfuckers in line. And guess who's gonna motherfucking defend us? Because it's not our own motherfucking community. Black people don't even support black people like that. Let's talk about the shit for real. Anyway, let me know how the fuck y'all feel about everything that's going on right now. My prayers are going out to everybody who is out there right now, because currently I'm not in California right now, but I will be back motherfucking soon to show my motherfucking face and support my other motherfucking community. And that's period, point blank.
Yeah, guys, y'all just heard him. Yeah, there is a lot of people who are being ignorant and just refusing and are like, oh yeah, well it ain't our fight. Like, listen, like I said, once all they're gone, who do you think he's gonna be looking at next? You know what I mean? It's literally like who's next? Who's next in line? And like I said, once the blacks and Hispanics are gone, then it's the Asians. So if Asians are not like getting involved, y'all need to get involved because y'all ain't 100% white either. And again, once the Asians are gone, then they're looking at the Native Americans. And if you know anything about American history, you already know how they did them. You know what I mean? And why there's not as many Native Americans as there should be. You know what I mean? And you know, they're different tribes and stuff. But yeah, now shout out to him. Like you said, the black and browns in LA, they built up LA and they do have that love hate relationship. Like, we know this. And this is what I love about Tupac. He said it in To Live and To Die in LA. Listen, we might fight among ourselves, but get us pissed off. We burn this, you know what I mean? We burn it to the ground, and we've seen that. Again, 1992, LA riots, George Floyd, like we've seen it, you know what I mean, pan out. But yeah, and like you said, it's not just Hispanics they're getting rid of, like they're getting rid of black, but you just not, that's not being pushed. Like, we're not seeing that, you know, again, the Haitians, we're not seeing that. But best believe he's getting rid of everyone, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to him, even though he's cussing a lot, but you can just hear his frustration. He's just really frustrated. And even with me, people will probably be like, oh, you're British. Why are you speaking on this? Because I have a platform. And wrong is wrong. You know what I mean? Right is right and wrong is wrong. He's got a platform, like he said, he's going to be speaking on it. He's born and raised in LA. I'm going to speak on it. I'm a person of color. Doesn't matter where it happens. It could be in LA. It could be in Australia. If I see some fuckery, I'm going to speak on it because I have a, you know what I mean? I have a platform, I have a following, and I have a voice. Duh.
We need to buckle up. This isn't only going to just stay in California. We in all of America should be ready for unrest in every single state, in every single city. We have been at a boiling point for so long, you guys. This pot is about to start to spill over. Things are getting out of control. And we can all see where this is leading. We can all see where this is heading. And out of all times, now, guys, I'm telling you, if you haven't been taking your relationship with God serious, you need to start taking it serious. There are many of us out here who say that we love God, say that we believe in Him, but as we are living in the last times, in the end days, we still walk as if He's not going to be coming back very soon. Jesus told us that nation would rise against nation, and in the Greek, that is ethnos against ethnos. And boy, was He not lying. We can see what's happening. These soldiers with their boots on the ground, this thing can go any direction. This thing can go any direction. We are watching biblical prophecy unfold, whether you believe it or not. They want you to believe this is purely political, but no. They want you to believe that this is purely between old tensions, but it's not. This is a biblical prophecy. We live in perilous times just like the Bible told us we would. And if you can't see what's going on around you, I fear time is running out for you to get your eyes opened.
Woo! I wasn't expecting that clip to be, you know what I mean? But he told no lies. And funny enough, I went to an event over the weekend with a friend that I've not seen. I've probably not seen her in like 6 years. And we were talking about the state of the world and what's going on. And she was saying that she's going to get baptized. She wants to be born again. And I was just like, I've been thinking about that. You know, when it comes to like biblical stuff, you know, it's kind of like a taboo. We don't really talk about it. But she was like, oh, you should do it with me. And it's just like, I need to mentally prepare myself, but it's coming. You know what I mean? The fact that I'm thinking about it. But like he said, this is all in the Bible. If you look out, watch the news, look out on the street or when you're traveling, you can see what it says in the Bible playing out right in front of your eyes. Like he said, nation against nation, you know, parents against their children, you know, the mark of the beast, you know, all these AIs, you know what I mean? Like, God is coming, like, so yeah, you need to be ready, you need to be prepared. If you believe in it, if you don't, do you, boo boo? But you know what I mean? Like, I was christened as a baby, but obviously we're all sinners, you know. But yeah, I've been really, you know what I mean, thinking about it and just getting closer to God because, again, the state of the world, like, but yeah, shout out to him. Like he said, like, this is not nothing new. History repeating itself. This is all written out, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of time for it to all come out and play out.
To all the people protesting in LA and all these other places, always remember that cops can handle a large protest easily. They cannot handle hundreds of small protests at all. Like, you put 20,000 people in one place, cops can handle that very easily. Very easily. You put 1,000 people in 20 different places, the cops cannot handle that at all. Their entire system will collapse and everything will fall apart. They will not be able to handle any of those groups of 1,000 people. Their goal is to get you to protest in one massive group and be in one area so that they can confront you as one massive group and use all their, rubber bullets and tear gas and nice shit like that on you. This is almost impossible for them to do if you are in groups of like 1,000 or a little over 1,000 people and you're in 20 to 30 places around the entire city you're protesting in. Just saying.
Shout out to him. He made some really good points, and it's true. Yeah, a big crowd, a good protest. Yeah, because that's where he just sends all his troops there. But yeah, if you're doing it in different parts of the state, that same state, or in LA, different smaller groups, he can't handle that. You know what I mean? some may be worse than others, you know what I mean? But yeah, he made some really good points, and it's true. Like with New York, they had to obviously call a lot of the feds in, so NYPD are trying to, But again, the protests are peaceful, but they're just, preparing, getting ready. But like you said, all these small ones, they can't handle that. You know what I mean? So shout out to him. He made some good points. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. If you are gonna do any of the protests, please keep your head on a swivel, because you just not know when it can pop off. And yeah, just stay safe. You know what I mean? Yeah, hope everything works out. But just the fact that you sent in 2,000 troops, like that's a lot. Like even with this channel, the biggest viewership I've got on here, it's like 2 point, I want to say like 2.5. So that's 2,500 people that have viewed that video. And it is a lot, and I do deep it. And then just thinking that he sent in 2,000 troops, it's just like wowzers. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot. Obviously, they're always outnumbered. There's always more people protesting than the actual troops or the feds. We know this, but then they've got the machinery, they've got the weapons. That's how they, you know what I mean, bring us down. But yeah, just please stay safe, because we're living in biblical times, like that man said. And yeah, just pray before you leave, your house, and when you return, because a lot of people are not making it. Mental health is real. There's a lot of people that are just off the chain. And in my next video, it's gonna be about two YouTubers that were going back and forth, and one of the YouTubers unalived the other one. And not just that YouTuber, he unalives the YouTuber's wife as well. But yeah, guys, please stay safe. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.